Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. Do you know who I am? I'm Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire. However, this Labor Day, I won't be that guy. You know who I'll be? Mr. Isna. That's right. We're celebrating the 2021 Isna Virtual Conference going down on Labor Day, brothers and sisters. We got speakers, we got entertainment. All we need is you. It's going to be like a big old pot of gumbo. We just need to put you in there. So listen. Don't wait. Don't even worry about registration because it's free. Make sure that you're going to be there on the 4th and the 5th. I'll be looking for you virtually. And believe me, I understand what you're thinking of. You're looking at the screen going, this is going to be an incredible conference. But my goodness, Preacher Moss, that's one good looking Muslim. See you there. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Listen, we made it to another Friday. I'm thinking of changing it from Friday Funnies to changing it to thank goodness we made another Friday. That's why I feel today. A good opportunity to get around in the Milwaukee community. I got to visit with the WD Muhammad community, Masjid Sultan Muhammad. At the Claire Muhammad School. So I'm in a really, really good place today, brothers and sisters. I hope and pray that you're in a great place today too. You know, our topic, of course, is stop acting like old stuff is new. Again, that topic is stop acting like old stuff is new. I'm going to be explaining a little bit of it to you. You know, the precursor is a little bit that, you know, in the world, brothers and sisters, you know, I as a quote unquote person that thinks I'm fairly creative, there's an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a book called The Most Beautiful Names. And I think the attribute is Al-Badi. I might be wrong, but it's the aspect that we are not, brothers and sisters, we don't create anything. Okay? We don't create anything. What we do is we're very efficient discoverers of how we frame things off of models that are in front of us. So a bird could be an inspiration to have a plane, if you will, or a fish underwater could be the inspiration for a submarine, and so on and so on and so on. You know, we can think about it. Rain coming down, it might be the inspiration for a sprinkler. Who knows? The fact of the matter is, you know, creation has been around much longer than all of us have. And what we do is we're gentle borrowers, if you will. Some of us borrow heavy. I won't get into that. But my point is, if we're really honest about things, there's just not a lot of originality in the world. And when I say there's not a lot of originality in the world, it means that the world has been around for a long time. You know, when somebody comes to me and goes, I've got a great idea, I think to myself, there's probably 10,000 other people who said the same thing about your same idea. You know, that's where the humility piece comes in. And every once in a while, you're going to have a great idea. You twist it and tweak it. But it always comes out of particular buckets that have been around forever. So looking at the current events and things like that, I say sometimes we have to stop acting like, brothers and sisters, old stuff is new. Case in point, I was sitting around with a bunch of young guys a while ago. I think I was waiting. I was in a restaurant waiting for some food or something. And the guy had his music playing loud, and I take that back. Wasn't playing loud, but it was audible. You know, it was more, I could hear it over here, and I really didn't want to. That's how I tell you how old I am, right? And I was listening to him play this music, and I recognized the chord, and I recognized the song that it was sampled from. And everybody at that table was like, oh, this beat is so dope. Oh man, and they were talking about the producer. Yeah, that producer, he's dope. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it. But I pulled out this long needle of reality, and I was like, I'm getting ready to bust this balloon. And I walked over to him and I said, who is that? And they told me the artist. I said, who produced that? That was that so-and-so producer, super producer. I said, let me help you out. I said, that song is from Eugene Record, and it's called Here Comes the Sun. And he goes, no. And I was like, we can all get on our computers and Google. Now, my case in point, brothers and sisters, is not that I wanted to take the long needle in reality and bust the bubble. It's just sometimes you have to realize that some things, some old things are not new. They're just new to you. But the people like myself, people in my age group who are dinosaurs, we remember when things actually came out. Now, I'm talking about music, brothers and sisters, but there's a move here in the United States and abroad, but here, particularly in the United States, where people are treating old things like they're new, and it's detrimental. We're gonna have some fun with that. All right, we're gonna start the show. Sister Satana, rock us out. All right, brothers and sisters, welcome back to the show. I want to give some shout outs to some people. I want to give a shout out to Sister Nancy Mustafa, who is recovering. Shout out to Miss Eleanor. Shout out to Lorraine Kitchen. Shout out to Kendrick Samuels. Shout out to, oh my gosh, there's a couple other people. I just forgot. I don't know why I'm blanking out, brothers and sisters. I can't even come up with it. Whoever it is, I forgot. Please forgive me. It was not intentional. Satana, don't be back there laughing, and don't put it up on the screen. But sometimes I do forget. So I just want to make sure that we're reaching out to people, and even more, brothers and sisters. Just a special note that we should reach out to our elders. When I say elders, it doesn't mean your mom, your dad, your aunt. I mean elders in general. You know, when you get a certain age, there's a reality that sets in that I'm not going to get any younger, and this is my station in life. And at this point in time, I really want to enjoy myself. What could definitely be better is that we help them enjoy themselves. We celebrate them while they're here, whether they're dealing with health issues, or mental health issues, or sadness, or whatever. I feel like it's incumbent upon all of us to just kind of reach out, put a smile on their face. So this kind of was the inspiration for stop acting like old stuff is new. I remember when I was younger, there was a dance contest at a cookout. And this had my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family. We had a family cookout. And the kids were asked to do their dance. Now you have to understand some of the music we were listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and we were listening to Little Rick James, whatever they let you listen to. And I remember doing a dance, thinking I had worked this dance out, and I'm thinking I'm the baddest man on the dance floor. And somebody from the back yelled out, "You ain't doing nothing but mashing potatoes." And I said, "Mashing potatoes?" Because I was doing this thing right here. He said, "You ain't doing nothing but the mashed." I said, "The mashed potatoes like you eat?" He said, "No, mashed potatoes is dance." And I kind of laughed at a young age. I mean, because I'm thinking, looking at this old guy, I'm thinking, you mean you used to dance? Okay, that might be wrong. But the fact of the matter, he did dance and did have youth. And he had the same growing up experience. I'm sure somebody told him that dance you doing ain't nothing but we did back there. That's dancing. But the thing that bedevils me these days is that people act like things are new on crucial issues. On crucial issues. Let me explain. I was with my brother JT today. We're hanging out. And we're talking about the subtitles, the title today for the program. He said, "Where does this come from?" I said, I gave him another. I said, "But I remember having to go on a road trip with a friend of mine, going from essentially, he was coming from Boston, picked me up, Chicago, and we were going to, no, not Chicago. He picked me up in like Wisconsin, and we were going to California. Now, I've had experience with this brother as a comedian. He was a musician. His problem was he would never like to gas up the car all the way. Now we're driving on this thing, and if you've ever been on Route 70, going from Colorado, you go through Colorado, Utah, into Nevada, into you pick up 10, 15, and then you pick up 10 into California. I guess and you guys need the whole roadmap thing. The point of the matter, brothers and sisters, is when you are going through this place, you need to buy gas. You need to buy gas. One of my big issues with my friend, and I love him to death, is that he would never buy enough gas. He's one of those people that will say things like, "We got enough to get us there." These are dangerous people, by the way. And so we were coming out of a place called Green River, Utah. When you come out of Colorado on the other side of the mountains, brothers and sisters, there's a spot that says Green River, Utah. And as you drive farther, there is a sign as you head into the canyons. There's a sign that says last gas for 100 miles. Last gas for 100. It means there's no more gas after the sign for another 100 miles. You better make sure that you have enough gas, because what they're telling you, there's no gas after this sign. After the sign, there's no gas. Okay. We're riding along. That's how much gas you got over there. We're in an SUV, by the way. He responds, not a quarter of a tank, not a full tank, not a half a tank. He goes, "I got enough to get us there." Did you hear that, brothers and sisters? Now, in these new cars, you can actually hit a button that tells you how much gas you have. But back in the old days, you didn't have that. You just had the gauge that went down, 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 down. And I said, "How much gas do we have?" And he responded, "We got enough to get us there." I said, "The sign says 100 miles, last gas for 100 miles. And I phonetically broke it down to him and said, what that means is, from this sign, there are no more gas stations, 0 gas stations, no people, no phones, no gas station. In fact, we should probably stop and use the bathroom because there's no bathrooms for the next 100 miles. He goes, "I got this." Now, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. I love him. He's my brother. He's my brother from a long time ago. Looked out for me when I was a young cat. But this was always an Achilles heel in our relationship. He always had enough gas to get us there. Now, let me preface this by saying the road we were taking, as JT reminded me, we were going through mountains and canyons, which means that your gas usage is going to fluctuate. You're going to use more gas. Now, this would mean more if I had a quarter tank or full tank or a half a tank of gas, but we had enough gas to get us there. Let me say this. We didn't know where we didn't know where get us there meant. Okay? And I'm telling you this because we had been on gigs together. Well, guess what we did? We did not have enough gas to get us there. So here we are, brothers and sisters, riding along. And if any of you have been in the car and you start running out of gas, you know what that feeling and that sound is when you press down on the accelerator and it doesn't give you anything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. When you're about to run out of gas, you will press on the accelerator and it will stutter. That's a nice way to say it. It does not respond in the way it would if it had gas. So here we are driving, going through a canyon. Now, like I said, I've been in a situation with him before where we have run out of gas on the way to a gig. The gig was 6 miles away. We ran out of gas 4 miles away from the gig. This happened before. We were driving in the canyon. We left the sign that said, last gas, 100 miles. We didn't gas up. Brothers and sisters, we get ran out of gas about 49 miles from the 100-mile mark. And I don't know if you know this, but this is back in the day. So we barely had cell phones back then. So when you pulled up your antenna, listen to what I'm saying. You pulled up your antenna in the middle of a canyon, you're not really getting any signal. Look, and so we got nothing. We were saved, brothers and sisters, by a Native American driving by in a furniture truck. So obviously he's looking at us. He's looking at us with basically no gas. And we have to tell him because you guys in trouble. And oh God, his name was Ernest. I can't remember his last name. But Brother Ernest goes, so what's going on here? My friend proceeds to lie. I don't really know what's going on. What do you mean you don't know what's going on? He goes, I don't know. It just stopped going. I look at him and I said, hold on a minute, Ernest. You know what's going on. We ran out of gas. What does Ernest say? Oh, y'all didn't see the sign? You didn't see the sign? I'm like, Ernest, of course we saw the sign. You know what my friend says? Well, the sign wasn't really that well lit. I said, Ernest, please let him finish with where we're going to go with this. He said, well, I don't know what happened, but somehow, we ran out of gas. Stop acting like old stuff is new. Bad habits are old things. Stop acting like you just had these bad habits pop up. You see, we're looking at the whole context of Haiti, in the context of Afghanistan. Guess what? These are old things that keep popping up. Do you know how long we've been in Afghanistan, brothers and sisters? I mean, from funding the Mujahideen, that goes all the way back to 1980. Haiti has had problems in the United States since 1915. And we keep doing these things thinking they're just popping up. Do you think that it's an actual coincidence that people don't want to wear their mask and people don't want to vaccinate? This is not new. This is old stuff popping up. The same as my friend not wanting to put gas in the car and making his own estimation of mileage with the scientific term enough to get us there. We find ourselves pretty much the same as he and I were with Ernest on the side of the road, approximately 51 miles from gas, going, how did we get here? So my point, brothers and sisters, do you see that happening in your world? Literally. If you ever go to court, and I'm not suggesting anything, don't go to court if you don't have to. There's always a guy who has a problem that when he brings it to you, he always tries to present it as it's new. I have a good friend of mine. I like him, but he's horrible with money. He likes the horses. Anything he could bet on, he'll bet on. Do you realize how much energy it takes to repackage the same behavior and give it to people? Just the same as when I was a kid doing the dance, thinking it was my dance. There's a guy that goes, hey, you ain't doing nothing but the mashed potato. And in America, brothers and sisters, I guess all over the world, we have people, and let me say, we have media machines that are constantly trying to repackage stuff. Case in point, I'm thinking to myself one time, I'm at the grocery store. I'm thinking to myself one time, I'm looking at the paper towels, I'm looking at the toilet paper. Paper towels and toilet paper. And I'm sitting here thinking, how many times can you take something old and try and make it new? Toilet paper. And I look at a commercial and they have these bears These animated bears. Now, first of all, who takes advice on toilet paper from cartoon bears? Put your hands up. I'll wait. But the thing with the bears is, even the bears can't get the basic essence of why you use toilet paper. The bears roll it off, and you know what they do? Just like human beings did in the commercials back in the day, they take the toilet paper off and they rub their face. When's the last time, brothers and sisters, you used the bathroom, number one or number two, and you rub your face afterwards? My point exactly. So here's my thing. I'm not proposing that we begin this space where we recognize the old things, okay, and not treat them as new things, but we recognize the old things and we respect the effort that went into them. Okay? We're not in a situation where we're trying to mislead people. We're not going to be the people that test toilet paper by rubbing it on our face. We're not going to be those people. We're not going to be the people who know a sign says 100 miles to gas, well, no more gas, 100 miles, and they casually tell you we got enough to get there. Forget about unscientific. It's just unreal. And I would say to some folks, I hope you're listening. To the people who, I don't know, don't want to wear masks. That's your prerogative. Don't want to do vaccinations. That's your prerogative. There are people back in the day who didn't want their white children to go to school with black children. I'm over it. But please, please, please stop repackaging bad habits and bad actions. Please stop repackaging bad habits and bad actions and then treating them like they're a new problem. Okay? You know, I give Shaitan a little credit. Not that I do studies on Satan or anything like that. I give Shaitan a little credit. Because Shaitan, he doesn't own anything. He don't own anything. He doesn't have a mortgage on hell or nothing like that. I mean, he doesn't have a condo, but the power of suggestion and his willingness to lead people to behavior, to think that if you do it over here, it won't come back. And if it does come back, it comes back as some totally different action, is something, it's short of magic. It's genius. Because this whole idea of taking something that's old and trying to act like it's new is that we are going to rearrange logic and perception. There's an old video, you might be able to find it on YouTube, of a little white boy with a stick, a big stick. And there's a rather large beehive. Now, the little boy with the stick is continually hitting the beehive. Now, I'm sitting here going, this is going to be funny. All right, not wishing anything bad, but, brothers and sisters, you all know that you don't hit beehives with sticks. And I'm sitting here going, does the person behind them with the camera know that you don't hit beehives with sticks? Well, he hit it too hard, and the bee said, we want to have a conversation with you. And so he got stung as well as the person with the camera. What's my point, brothers and sisters? You have a history of people that'll tell you, don't hit beehives with sticks. Not a situation that the bees are dangerous, as opposed to the person that's provoking them is stupid, dumb. There's certain things that you don't do, brothers and sisters. And let me add this one. Don't expect people to keep helping you out. So everybody watches Fox News and CNN and all of that. Corruption isn't new. So we're always going to have corruption. We're always going to have death. You're going to have happiness. You're going to have sadness. You're going to have all these things, brothers and sisters. Stop acting like it's new. As much as we talk about the pandemic and coronavirus and COVID and all that type of stuff, let me tell you guys something. Before there was the Black Plague of death, and it killed gazillions of people. What's my point? It's old. Death is not something that goes away. Stop treating it like it's new. You're going to have medicines that are going to help. You're going to have medicines that don't help. The fact of the matter is, brothers and sisters, stop acting like we don't know. We know. And for all the people that are taking vaccinations but listen, and you're anti-vax, let's be honest. Here's old information and new information. Guess what? They're the same. A vaccine is not a cure, brothers and sisters. It's not a cure. It helps deal with certain symptoms, but it's not a cure. It's meant to alleviate certain things that could possibly cause you danger, but it's not a cure. Did you get it in your head, brothers and sisters? It's not a cure. Or in the words of my good friend, enough to get you there. So listen, I am not going to hold you guys up, man. This is Friday Funnies, and I hope everybody understands. I woke up today, and I want to give a shout out to my main man, Brother Umar Hakim Day at LA. We talked about this whole idea of just sometimes your position in life is so strong that you have to advocate. You got to want these things. You got to want them. And you got to want clarity. And so I'm going to say, for my brother, I know you probably hating this whole thing about, enough to get us there, but it's a true story. And we run out of gas numerous times. And you always act like it's new, like it's the first time. It ain't the first time. You got to have it, and you need to have a support group. So let me reverse this, brothers and sisters. I didn't even get to shout out my shout out show family. I almost forgot. We got Ree. Ree's chomping at the bit. Ree has she got another food debut, brothers and sisters, at the International Market, 239 Green Road in Houston, Texas. Make sure you get there early because that food is going to sell out. Ree, best wishes to you. Next up, my main man, Altaf Rashid. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brother, and thank you, everybody, shout out show family, for being patient with me. I have these moments where I forget stuff, Like I said, I'm not going to act like it's new. I forget stuff. Altaf, good to see you on the show, man. Brother, I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless you, man. Appreciate you in my duas as well as you, Ree. Next up, Sister Ika. Let's make dua for Sister Ika too. Her sister and her brother-in-law have been fighting. Sister had illness. Brother-in-law had illness. Sister Ika, we have you in our duas. We hope that your whole family heal up and get back to full strength. There's nothing more distressful than a loved one who is sick or suffering. So we hope that duas are coming your way and you're feeling better. Next up, Samir, my main man from Kansas City. What's up, brother? Last gas, 100 miles means you're screwed. It does, brothers and sisters. It means you should have at least 300 miles of gas in your tank. But some people don't learn. Some people believe in got enough to get us there. Samir, good to see you. Have a blessed weekend. Next up, wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Eric, our newest addition to the Shout Out Show family, Shout Out Show soldiers. How you doing, B? Juma Mubarak to you, my friend. Man, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Just so you know, I went out of order today because I jumped right into the topic. Everybody in the comment section has been extremely patient. Thank you, brother. Have a wonderful weekend from your brother, Preacher Moss. Next up, and we got Mama Moss, Mary Moss to everyone. The government name is Mary Moss. To me, she's always going to be a mama. So I also want to give a shout out to my pops, Clifford Moss Jr., who's out there watching the show. He doesn't come into the queue, but he is definitely a part of the Shout Out Show family. All right, Mama. So I want you to have a great weekend too, and I'll be giving you a call. Make sure that you are okay. Who else we got? Man, I can't even say Johnny L. Thomas, man. You should have just been here helping me set up these cameras, boy. But much love to you, man. We had a great lunch, man. My brother's been carrying me around. There's nothing better than when your brother takes you to Juma to make sure you get in, and you hop out of the car, you look back, and you go, is there anything I need to make dua for you for? He said, everything. So more than happy to do that, brother. And if I'm awake, I'm going to call you. My brother knows that when I finish the show, I'm kind of like on the downside or I get sleepy. So I'm just gonna keep it real. But good to have you, man. Much love to you and my nephews and sister Yolanda. Next up, and we have it at the beginning where we started. Again, that's Sister Satana. Sister Satana, thank you so much. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Juma Mubarak to you. Let me say that I want you to have a great weekend. And thank you so much for supporting this platform. Everybody, I'm Preacher Moss. I'm going to get our sponsors out and then I'm going to bounce real quickly. Want to give a shout out. Oh, wait a minute. BFM Mom. Hey, what's up, beloved? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is my brother from Masjid Sultan Muhammad. He gave the kuppah today. What's going on, BFM? Good to see you, man. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. And I want everybody to check out this Saturday. We're going to have a special program put on by Sister Fitra. Remembering, we're going to have some people who are going to speak on the memories of our beloved teacher, Imam Warfdi Muhammad. I will have that flyer out here, inshallah, tomorrow. Okay? So let me just go through everything. Cool. Let me get our sponsors. I want to give a shout out to BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Appreciate you. Oh, that's the wrong one, Satan. Contact us. Nope, that's not it. Oh, Satana done fell off. But you done fell asleep. Oh my gosh. We need to get our sponsors. There you go. Satana just woke up 2 minutes ago. Hey, Satana, the sign says last gas for 100 miles. All right. I want to give a shout out to BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Call 1-888-496-6845. Again, that's 1-888-496-6845. We're trying to break you from the debt of slavery, brothers and sisters. Shout out to Ms. Maxine B. Cade, Esquire, who is in charge of this minority-owned business. Also, shout out my main man, Omar Hakeem as well. So, brothers and sisters, much love. I appreciate you. I also want to give a shout out to Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Again, that's Bayan Islamic Graduate School. If you're thinking about a quality, hear me now, a quality Islamic graduate school experience or doctoral experience, you want to check out Bayan. Great programs for Islamic leadership, Islamic studies. Also, we have one of the top programs for the Masters in Divinity for Muslim chaplaincy. And let me give a shout out to my main man, brother Idris, who was my classmate at Bayan. He was sworn in yesterday as the first Muslim chaplain for the National Reserves in the state of Maryland. So I want to give a shout out to him. He texted me earlier. I texted him, but you know, Idris is one of those brothers. I know he's from the DC area. Shout out to his wife and his daughter. You know, he really, really applied himself. He got his chaplaincy thing. And I mean, I'm just talking about, he is the chaplain for the Maryland National Guard, brothers and sisters, the first Muslim chaplain. So big up to him. All right. So listen, I'm going to let y'all get out of here. And if you ever riding with somebody and you ask them if they have gas and they respond to you and say, got enough to get in there, get out at the light. All right. I'm Preacher Moss. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Don't forget, brothers and sisters, register for the ISNA conference, the virtual conference. You don't want to miss it. It's free. All right, I'm out. Take care now. Bye-bye.